circling back to what we spoke about earlier, probably right at the beginning, actually, a little bit about body image and body positivity, and your experience with that. And I mean, my experiences as well haven't always been positive. And I mean, especially at university, I think I watched one of your videos where you were talking about how you sort of balance fitness and studies. And by the sounds of it, you basically, you're only really doing exercise outside of term time. Do you think that affects your mental health as well?
Yeah, it's really, I'll put my hands up and say, you know, I'm never going to be a gym lad. I'm never going to be someone that exercises lots. In first year, I did not look after myself at all. As to circle back to what I was saying about when I was at school, it was academics or bust for me, because I really cared, and I really wanted to do well. I didn't really exercise that much at school either, to be honest. I used to dance, but I quit that in year 12 because I just had so much work and I really wanted to focus on my studies. And yeah, I mean, naturally as I got older, I get, my figure filled out. I come from a very long line of pear-shaped women. I couldn't really help my hips getting bigger. That was going to happen no matter what I did, and that's a whole other topic, but I did gain a lot of weight in first year. I noticed it, I didn't feel good in myself. I gained weight around my face a lot, and so I just look unhealthier. My skin was absolutely awful. I wasn't feeding myself good things. I was eating ready meals, Deliveroo, whatever was quick and convenient. And I'm not gonna lie, even in second year, I cooked more, but I didn't cook enough because out of all of my things in my life, so social life, sleep, academics, food was kind of the one that was always convenience. Not even, and I didn't exercise. I don't exercise when I'm at uni enough. I walk a lot. I do an average of 12,000 steps a day when I'm at uni. But I only really exercised in exam season of my first year because I thought that might make me feel better. It didn't. Spoiler alert. Yeah. So when I'm in fourth year, I'm definitely gonna prioritize exercise because it does make me feel a lot better. And I'm not going to be doing as many extracurriculars in fourth year, because I'm not. Fourth year is going to be obviously back a bit in exam mode. But I'm eating better and exercising are very important to me, and I don't prioritize them enough. I will admit that I don't, but as someone that's had a very toxic relationship with eating and exercise growing up, I think that's probably why I don't prioritize it, because as soon as I do, I always run the risk that I'll fall back into very dangerous habits with it. And so it's about finding that balance. Now I'm abroad, I've got a lot more time to cook. I've been eating a lot healthier. I still go out and enjoy my life and, eat out and things. But honestly, the food in Germany is so much less processed anyway. If you go out for dinner, it's like you're getting a home cooked meal. But yeah, no. So now I've got a bit more free time and I've realised how nice it is to cook. I'm hoping in fourth year I can kind of bring all of them together. But that, as I said, uni is such a learning curve about trying to balance everything. And I will be the first to admit that I am not perfect. I do have a lot going on in my life though. So that's probably why. Yeah,
I'm trying not to sound like some sort of doctor now. I thought that was are you getting enough sleep? Are you walking?
It's okay. That's all of the comments I get on my YouTube in first year. I actually watched a couple of my vlogs back from first year the other week, and it made me cry just because I looked so unhealthy and my life was so unhealthy. I was drinking so much alcohol, eating so many Deliveroos, convenient meal deals, and I just looked unhealthy. And my natural body, okay, am I really happy with the way I just naturally am? That's a whole other question, but I could tell that I'd put on weight beyond that, if that makes sense, and I just wasn't good. I didn't feel good in myself. I didn't look good. I looked tired. I had no glow behind my skin. So yeah, hopefully, obviously during exam season, it's really difficult to balance, and I wouldn't be expecting anyone to be exercising regularly through exams, but yeah.
No, I've been the exact same, especially since lockdown hit. You have those walk-in tracking apps where you can track how much steps you've done. Literally, as soon as lockdown hit, it just took a dive off a cliff. I was maybe averaging a few hundred steps a day, and I was just looking at it going, oh God, like
Yeah,
this can't go on.
During term time, like the corona term, I was doing none because the only reason I was walking a lot at uni was because I was going from class to class. But now I've got an Apple Watch, and that's really good because it reminds me every hour. No, but it's really it wasn't actually as expensive as I thought it would be, and it's good because it reminds you to stand up. I can check how much I'm moving. I did actually fall down the stairs 4 days after I got here, and I really badly rolled my ankle, and it's still quite sore.
Really,
so I have time
really
to exercise.
Making your mark.
Yeah, I have time to exercise now, but I've actually not been able to for a month because my mom was like, please don't exercise on it until you're 100% sure that it's not going to hurt. So
you've got to be
it's
careful
actually
with
really
ankles.
annoying now because I do have time to exercise and I should be exercising, but I actually physically can't now without risking making my ankle worse because I struggle to walk on it long distances, let alone do a workout. So
yeah.
Not
it's a vicious
great.
cycle that you're in.
I'm hoping I'm going to try as of Monday. I'm going to try and start doing like not jumpy workouts, but just sort of gentle ones that don't require too much pressure on my ankle. So yeah, we'll see.
And I mean, on your YouTube, obviously you talked about it. You did beauty stuff, and you do workouts every now and then that you promote on your YouTube channel. And you've talked about how you've had to deal with sort of people commenting about the way you look. Does it still get to you about that body shaming side of things, or do you just try and ignore it?
It's what gets to me the most, for sure. Because I will put my hands up and say that I'm not very sick. I don't really like the way that I look, and I'm all for promoting self-love and stuff, but also it's quite difficult for me to do that when most days or a lot of the time I'm still not entirely happy with what I see in the mirror. I've struggled really badly with like body dysmorphia, which means that especially the week before my period, I see myself physically completely different to how everybody else does. Like I just look bigger, and I'm not. But I've always been like that actually. Like I just don't see. I've always had a very toxic relationship with the way that I look. So it does still get to me. And so when people comment that I've gained weight, I get really paranoid. And I will admit that because I don't want to be out here being like, I'm absolutely perfect. I've gone through this really big mental battle and I'm now really happy in myself all the time. I'm not. And I still struggle with certain things. And I'd say weight is one. I'm someone that now has got a much healthier relationship with food, but then there's the danger that it tips the other way and I eat out too much and I go out for drinks too much. And so for me, it's definitely the bit of my life that I've not really, it's still a work in progress, basically. Yeah.
I really do hope that you figure it out. I mean, it's an issue that I've personally dealt with as well.
Yeah.
Like first year of university, talking about trying to figure out what's going on, and eating was the opposite for me. Like I didn't eat any like takeaways or anything like that because I was very tight on money, but I also wasn't eating that much food that I was preparing myself because I just didn't know how to do it. Like I was still learning. So it ended up being a situation where I was losing a lot of weight and then ended up looking quite like unhealthy quite quickly, and my parents noticed, and it was quite a scary time. And when it happened, I was like, I made a decision, like, I'm not going to let that happen again because it properly scared me. And I was like, I don't want to be in that situation where I'm, not eating enough. And it just freaked me out a bit.
A lot of people, yeah. I think you do kind of go one of two ways, I think. You either, the novelty of university sort of gets to you and you just want to eat out and go for dinner and like do takeaways all the time. And if you're lucky enough to be in a financial situation where you can do that, then it's quite easy to fall into that trap. Or you really don't eat anything and you're not eating enough nutritious food, and that can also be really bad for you. But honestly, I would say that is one of the hardest things to get right at uni because you are busy, and also you have to remember you are cooking for one person, and cooking for one person is so difficult. It's so difficult to do a food shop that that you're going to use all of that up. It's really hard. So I think that everyone should cut themselves a bit of slack when it comes to food. I'd say that that's definitely one of the hardest parts about going to uni is learning to cook for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you said before about how you're so busy at uni and you struggle to do exercise and things. Like that was another challenging one as well. Like trying to form that routine that early on. It's like it's difficult because you want to stay healthy and you want to maintain that that like, you know, routine of going to the gym and eating right. But yeah, the stress of like losing weight, and then you look at yourself in the mirror and it's like you keep seeing someone different than what is actually usually the case.
Also, as you grow up, your weight does fluctuate. Like, that's just natural. I for one have got, again, in my family, like, you know, like we have like genetic issues. That means that we can put on weight very easy. We can also lose weight very easy. So my weight naturally fluctuates a lot. And so you also have to take that into account. You know, it's natural as you get older that your body changes and grows and forms. Of course, it's not natural if you're gaining abnormal amounts of weight or losing abnormal amounts of weight. But a lot of people really struggle with, myself included, that when you sort of get to 18 or 19, especially women, you know, you've gone from sort of like your childlike body to your body sort of filling out, your thighs getting bigger, for example, your hips getting bigger, and I can't change the size of my hips. My hips have grown like so much since I joined uni. And I look at photos of me from when I was 17. I think, oh my god, I was so skinny. But like I fit even if there's nothing I can do about that. And a lot of women especially struggle with that, because that's a change that might not be welcome. And obviously if your hips get bigger, your thighs are going to get bigger, and nobody wants to get bigger thighs. Well, actually, to be fair, these days people do, because that's kind of the trend. But you shouldn't be following trends. Like, you know, it's a personal thing. But that was the one for me, was my hips. And I still don't like how big they are, but I can't do anything about it. So
what do you think about fitness trends and when fitness becomes unhealthy, and body trends? It's all just so toxic. I can't stress to you enough. Like, I honestly think that the only reason that most people, myself included, have got such toxic ideas of what a normal body looks like is because on Instagram and stuff, like, you do just see overwhelmingly skinny, tanned people who are perfectly shaved and they've got no spots and everything's just perfect. And then you look in real life and you look at your friends and you think, no, like, nobody actually looks like that. Nobody looks like how they do on social media in real life. Don't get me started on TikTok, because I delete TikTok anyway, because I just found it quite toxic. But like what I eat hate
in a day,
TikTok.
Well, yeah, because the what I eat in a day videos would either be like, oh, I'm eating like a really, really healthy green smoothie, and then like a huge bowl of vegetables and stuff that I've had time to lovingly prepare myself, and I'm eating all my nutrients. Or it would be, oh, lol, I got up at like 11, and then I had like a coffee, and then I had like a cigarette at lunch, and then I just forgot to eat for the rest of the day, teehee, and that's also not healthy. So no, don't get me. I just honestly, the main source of body dissatisfaction comes from comparing yourself with others in real life, let alone to edited photos on social media. No, don't even get me started on it. It just really, I contribute to it myself though. I'll always post photos of myself with the most flattering angle and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, everyone does that.
It's a toxic culture that it's a self-fulfilling culture. Yeah.
You may not be able to answer this question, but I think it's important to ask it. What do you think it's going to take for you personally to be happy with the way you look?
Blimey hell. I've struggled with it for most of my teenage years, since the age of like 13. I've yo-yoed, I've lost a lot of weight and really, really restricted my calories and had very disordered eating. And I've also gone completely the other way. I don't really know, to be honest. I think that just comes with time. I'm definitely happier, and I've accepted that it is what it is, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Will I always compare myself to my friends? Yeah, probably. Will I always? Yeah, I think it's just because I know that even if I exercised loads and I got absolutely ripped, I couldn't really change like the core shape of myself, if that makes sense. Even if I went down to my lowest healthy weight, I would still not look how I want to look. But then all my friends who don't have an hourglass figure are like, oh my gosh, I would kill for your curves. And so you're always going to be a little bit. I would love to sit here and say that I feel like I'm beautiful just the way that I am. And I do. I have a lot of love for myself, and I you know, but you know, it's a work in progress, and so I don't really know.
That is a perfectly acceptable answer.
Yeah, like, I don't want to be out here being like, I don't want to be out here to my followers like, love yourself just the way you are, because you should. But I know it's difficult and it's easier said than done. And so I don't hate myself by any means. But I also have days where I try on something and I just feel a bit frumpy, and that's okay too.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for talking me through that and your experiences of it. I really appreciate it.
No, it's okay. Yeah. I feel like honesty is the best policy with things like this, especially when I've got a following. It would be really, it would be even worse for me to be like, yeah, I'm now really happy with my body when I'm not. So, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Inside out, like we've all been led astray. We've been standing on the outside in, trying to find our friends, like we're all just castaways. Feel like we've been missing out.